Hello, dear friends. I welcome everyone who is watching Sotnik-TV. Today is Saturday, July 4th, 2020. It's 7 p.m. in Moscow. We're streaming live. The following story takes center stage among political and military activity. Cannibals in Russia like human flesh and wish to eat it for breakfast, lunch and supper. To do this, they adopt cannibal laws in their territory. In the long run, it's their business. Of course, it's unpleasant for the rest of the world to hear them crunching human bones in the 21st century. It's barbaric and wrong, but that's what they want. They eat human flesh and there is nothing we can do to stop them. In their own territory, they have made their decision. It's their preference in meat and bones. But on the other hand, their territory is turning radioactive. It's now able to cause mass damage to the ecology of the entire planet and to everyone who lives on Earth. For example, when Scandinavian countries detect that the radiation levels have increased, the cannibal territory reports that it has nothing to do with it. According to the reports, there is no radiation in Russia, so Scandinavians need to check within their countries. Meanwhile, they keep testing nuclear missiles secretly, such as SSC-X9 Skyfall. They keep burning forests. They pollute the environment with diesel and their other wastes. Such a repulsive empire. It poses a big threat to the ecology of the planet. Let me show you the following video from the outskirts of Russian city of Norilsk. This is what happens to Russians who claim to be absolutely innocent. Let's take a look now. We're standing by Dolbykan River. That's where we collect spilled diesel. It's really simple. First you dig a hole in the ground and then cut a plastic bottle. Then you collect the diesel. It's pure diesel. There's no water in it. Here's a little more. Just like that. Let's check how it burns. Let's pour out a little. Let's see if there's any water mixed in. Now we'll check how it burns and if there's any water. It burns well. There's no cracking, which means there's no water. So one can simply dig a pit here and fuel cars from it. That video was filmed by Norilsk. A true environmental disaster occurred there some time ago. The impact is quite notable. We only have one planet, which is really small. So everyone on this planet is about to breathe a harmful odor. I have contacted Rashid Alimov from Greenpeace Russia to discuss this critical issue with him. It was revealed in the beginning of this week that Scandinavian countries registered a radioactivity level increase and they suspect that it came from Russia. An emission could have occurred at Kolskaya or Leningradskaya nuclear plants. According to another version, this could have been caused by the Russian military testing Skyfall missile. Do you know what that actually was? Actually, nobody still knows what that was. It looks like there was an accident at one of the nuclear facilities. It could have been either a nuclear plant or an atomic icebreaker or a submarine. Such scenarios occur in the first place. The initial reports about the accident were released last week. On the previous Friday, we published a press release on the Greenpeace website. Unfortunately, since then we haven't obtained enough data to detect the source of the pollution. It was initially suggested by scientists from the Netherlands that it came to Scandinavia from Western Russia. It means that the source is either located in Russia or somewhere else. First of all, if we suspect the sources are facilities in Russia, we should take a closer look to Kolskaya and Leningradskaya nuclear plants. In December 2017, the Federal Service for Hydrometeorology and Environmental Monitoring came up with a report that contained an evaluation of a radiation monitoring system used by Russian nuclear agency. According to the report, the monitoring system is obsolete and is used by the agency for making it appear that the environment is under control, rather than actual prompt oversight of any possible changes of the radioactivity. Mind you, this was reported not by environmental organizations that opposed the agency due to obvious reasons. This was released by a federal service, a state agency that commonly monitors and evaluates such things. Russians have just voted for amending the constitution, as suggested by Vladimir Putin. Will those amendments allow Russia to ignore any objection or request by the international community? Russia has now declared the supremacy of the domestic law. No international court has any authority on its territory. Now it can test anything and release anything to the atmosphere, doesn't it? Russians haven't provided sufficient data before, and now there won't be any data at all. I don't think that amending the constitution will have any impact on this situation. However, we see that in reality the data that was published or that can be provided by request is still insufficient. Another batch of uranium tailings from Germany arrived in Russia in July 1st. It arrived to Ust-Luga seaport. It's interesting that we in Russia know about this from German sources. Germany has adopted the policy of nuclear transparency. The Bundestag members requested this information and received a reply that contained the full details of these shipments, including their date and the amount of nuclear waste sent to Russia. They knew when it was shipped and the facilities in Russia it came to, as well as the mode of transportation. So there is no guarantee that those uranium tailings are stored under the proper conditions or that no environmental catastrophe will occur. We've been opposing uranium tailings importing for a while now. In our recent report dedicated to the nuclear emission, we mentioned those tailings. Those couldn't cause radionuclide dispersion, but those make a separate serious problem. We refer to reports by the Federal Service of Ecological, Technical and Nuclear Surveillance. From 2003 to 2011 or 2012, the service reported yearly that storing uranium hexafluoride, also known as uranium tailings, in containers in the open air at 4 locations in Russia doesn't comply with the modern safety requirements. What impact can the recent accident at Norilsk bring to the environment? Can this pollution be completely removed? The impact can be minor because there was a massive emission of pollution. There was an awful wildfire that spread over millions of acres in the past years. Has the situation improved this year, or is it still burning without anyone reporting? My colleagues from Greenpeace Russia monitor the situation with satellite images. They register recurrent thermal points. Those are the potential sources of wildfire. For example, a fire can start with smoldering peat, and they monitor such things. Then we cooperate with groups of volunteer firemen. They go out to such sources of fire to put it down by their own means. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.